You see the crews making some last-minute adjustments, and so we're about to get it on here in Nashville Superspeedway. In Lebanon, Tennessee, the pace car, hard left, heads onto pit road. A big crowd here on their feet for the green flag, led down to the line. The front row again, Johnny Sauter, Todd Bodine. In row 2, Scott Riggs, and the man who won here in April, David Green.
A little bit of doubt diving off in this first turn. Not sure what the setup they needed and what their car's going to feel like. No practice. Have to hold our breath here and see.
Johnny Sauter with an advantage on the inside of the racetrack. Todd Bodine now locked in a side-by-side battle with that yellow car. That's Scott Riggs. That's for the second spot. They're going to have to get it down to at least 2 wide going into turn 3.
Doesn't look like the outside groove has come in very good yet.
Mike Bliss, now that Todd Bodine is continuing to be pushed up the racetrack, trying to hold on to third. He can't do it. Bliss in that red and white Rockwell automation machine takes over the third spot. Bodine finally able to get back to the inside line.
You know he was wanting to get down quickly. I mean, like we've said, this is a green racetrack. No grip up high. Wanting to get low quick.
And there's Ron Hornaday. 3 Busch Series wins, the latest at Nazareth just a few weeks ago. He's tailing Jason Keller through the field, working off the banking in turn 4. You see that blue stripe, Hank, that sort of marks where the wall begins and the concrete stops. Here's Ron Young now spinning down the racetrack. Everybody taking evasive action, and it will be a 1-car incident that brings out the first yellow flag of this race.
I was watching that as you were talking about the blue line. I saw him look like he got up a little bit out of the black and got a little loose there, spun it out. But yes, the blue line does mark the marks the wall and the race surface because they're the same color and it's hard to tell.
Here's another look at that situation.
Just like I said, I guess I wasn't wrong this time. But yeah, he got up high and you can see the concrete dust, and you can see that there's no rubber there and no grip.
Here's a second look at that problem, and you can see just barely got a piece of the wall. So Ron Young brings out the first caution flag. We're only 3 laps into the 225 to make up the Trace Adkins Chrome 300 from here at the Nashville Superspeedway. We're just underway, so don't go away.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. working his way up there. You talked to him, he's very confident about tonight. You can see Hornaday there on the outside. It's like we said earlier, there's not much rubber on this racetrack, and the inside groove is a lot faster right now.
Brian Vickers trying to shoehorn his way to the inside of Ron Hornaday.
That's the racer's horn. Honk, honk. I'm on the inside.
That's the horn right there, the chrome horn. And Ron Hornaday and Vickers now crash in turn 3.
That's the one thing about concrete. It's a little bit unforgiving. He got on the inside of Hornaday there. They made a little bit of contact. Brian Vickers tried to stay off of him, and it's not very forgiving when you get your car a little loose, a little sideways. He pulled down on the wheel to stay off of Hornaday and spun himself out.
Tough break for Ron. That team's been on a bit of a roll lately as well after winning at Nazareth.
Hornaday didn't give him a whole lot of room, and he was really trying to get up beside him, and Hornaday got down in the corner good, and one of those deals, man. Isn't that what they always say in racing?
It's just racing. You can see another look here, long distance view. You see Hornaday's cars hunting up the racetrack after contact, right side coming in contact with the wall flush, and then you see Vickers do a 360 in one direction, then the car snaps around for another 360 the other way, but it did not hit the wall.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has much damage. He probably has a little bit of right front damage, which your fenders are very important everywhere we go now. So he might have came out on the good end of that deal.
Looked like a nice little race ballet. Here's a look from inside Ron Hornaday's car. Doink.
You can see he just didn't want to give him much room. Vickers trying to push the issue a little bit there. It's still early.
We'll get an update on the damage to those 2 machines when we come right back to the Nashville Superspeedway. Just moments ago, Brian Vickers had to make an unscheduled pit stop. Glenn Jarrett has more on that.
Yeah, Mark, he had a right front tire going down. He came in, he and crew chief Lance McGrew were talking about it. Lance thought there just might be something on the tires. Of course, they changed all four, but they took the right side tires off. The right front was down, and evidently something is rubbing against the, we got problems on the racetrack.
That's trouble in turn number 2.
2 cars.
And that brings out the 3rd caution flag.
Everybody just flying through that wreck there. That was a very close call.
Brad Teague involved in it. Scott Riggs will lead them down to the yellow flag, 3rd one of the night. Here's a little bit of a peek at that incident. Scott Riggs, and you look at that right there. Riggs almost sideways trying to dive underneath those cars.
Very close call. You could see where the valence was right on the racetrack. He was hard on the brakes. The car got a little loose. That was some really good driving.
Joe Buford, that car down the bottom of the screen, the 53. Riggs went right, then he said, no, I've got to go left.
Ashton Lewis did a good job to miss this wreck, too.
Johnny Sauter also squeezed by as well. Let's take a look from his in-car camera. He was off the gas.
Yeah.
He spotted a hole, man. He got on the hammer.
You got to go for it. I mean, he had a little more time. Scott Riggs was the one sitting on the hot furnace.
Yeah, Scott went, okay, I'm going outside. Nope, that's not going to work, and got on the brakes. And now the lead machines all coming down pit road, led by Scott Riggs in that yellow Nesquik Ford. On the outside now, and they've lined up a train like a draft at Talladega.
That's not a fun feeling when you're the one on the outside, but it's an okay feeling when you're the one on the inside.
Looks like Scott Wimmer got by. Also now Johnny Sauter, 3 wide, trying to squeeze in there.
I don't think that, that was the tight fit. Not much room there.
David Stremme in that number 1 made it work. Now Mike Bliss trying to get to the inside of his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, Coy Gibbs. Trouble now along the front straightaway.
I caught the tail end of that. I just saw cars sliding through the grass. We see got Stanton Barrett,
Mike Wallace,
Joey Clanton.
Stanton Barrett trying to get out of the infield. And of course, the tough part about this, we had a lot of rain yesterday, still pretty damp there. Wallace, you see the left front of his Geico car tore up.
We're watching these guys run 3 wide. We're not sure if they're going to make it. And then we look right behind them, and there's a big wreck behind them.
Caution flag 4 on lap 43, about 1 every 10 laps. It could take a while to get this race in if they keep it up.
Yeah, let's look at this again here.
Heavy traffic back there. Stanton Barrett out of shape, and the wreck was on.
Yeah, Stanton Barrett all by himself, it looked like right there. Maybe made a change to the car, got loose up off of turn 4, went around on him.
Look at the Geico Gecko is a hurting unit right now. Looks like his nose was punched in. Under that last caution, the 92 car of Todd Bodine came in, and Glenn Jarrett has more on that. Joy in 10th spot now, just behind him. The Great Clips car of Casey Kane trying to close in and move into the top 10. LaJoy started 22nd, so he's moved up. He's got a pretty strong race car. Here's Bobby Hamilton Jr. now, closing in on David Green.
The 12 car just spun on the front stretch here. Todd Bodine got in the back of the 12 car.
Little payback. Kerry Earnhardt on the inside of the racetrack, turn 1.
That was not a little payback. That was a lot of payback.
Caution flag number 5. The record, by the way, just in case this comes up later, 11 cautions, 58 caution laps. Those are the things we're looking at as far as the record looks.
I hate that for Kerry Earnhardt. He was really having a good run. I don't know what happened earlier, but we're getting ready to see what happened.
This is the speed shot along the front straightaway. See that little turn there at the start-finish line. And Kerry Earnhardt turned just after the start-finish line. Again, maybe contact between him and Todd Bodine. But a few laps before, the roles were reversed. It was maybe Kerry tapping Todd, and then...
There was no maybe there.
There's no maybe. You saw that one?
I saw that with my own eyes.
So that was a punt. That was not a tap.
That was a big one.
So you can see the roof flap up on the Super Cup machine, and Kerry's looking in his rearview mirror very intently. Do you think he's looking for a particular car to come up beside him? I don't know.
I think maybe so. You don't usually spin out in the straightaway.
That's a tough thing to do with that car. A lot of damage. Tough break for Kerry Earnhardt. The leaders are coming on to pit road. Here's the inside look from Johnny Sauter's car that doesn't quite sound right, Hank.
Yeah, sounds like he may have a valve spring problem. 26 car to the wall.
Lance Norrick backs into the wall hard. That's in turn 2. And that brings out caution flag number 8.
And McCoy Gibbs goes down in the corner. I don't know, maybe Coy got the air off of him. Went for a ride.
Stanton Barrett, it looks like, squeezed by to the inside. A good save for him. Tough break for Lance Norrick.
Yeah, the 26 car there, Lance Norrick, was in 16th place, 3 laps down.
This may take out the fuel mileage question. We'll see if all the lead machines come on pit road. You see the Dr. Pepper crew trying to repair Lance Norrick's car and get him back out onto the racetrack. The leaders, here they come. This could be the final critical pit stop here tonight at the Nashville Superspeedway. Scott Riggs will lead them onto pit road, followed by David Green. Then tough break early for Brian Vickers. If you just joined us, 2 unscheduled green flag stops have put the Ricky Hendrick GMAC Chevrolet down 4 laps. He's been one of the faster cars. He sort of let the leaders go at times. Hank, he's tried to get a lap back when he couldn't. He's rode for a while, just hanging out, hoping to make up one of the 4.
Well, he's a good racer. He's aggressive, but he's very smart, and he knows that this is not his day. So he does what he can to get his lap back, but if he's in somebody's way, he just lets him go. On the 25, I don't know if those guys got a chance to put any tape on the front of that car, that last pit stop. I guess they must think it's going to be okay. It doesn't look like they put anything on it.
Maybe they think it'll help. What if the car's a little loose? That tightens it up, right? No? Am I crazy? What?
18 car.
Coy Gibbs, the MB&A Chevrolet. That is caution flag number 9. Man, he must have hit pretty hard. That flattened the back end of that MB&A Chevy.
You remember when Brian Vickers is going to get his lap back. Brian Vickers got his lap back. That's good.
So 4 down, he gets 1 back, so 3 to go.
That's 3.
Yeah, 3 to go.
You know something I said earlier that you laughed at me about the lights and the horns and the helmets and the aggressiveness? I might be right on that too.
All right, let's take a look at this replay. That is Kerry Earnhardt that ticked the back bumper. Coy Gibbs, and Kerry had just come out onto the racetrack, 68 laps down. Here's a second look.
It looks like he's loose in the straightaway before he ever gets there. I don't know. Watch his car right here very closely. See it? Just make some kind of a turn to the left. I don't know if maybe he got out of it really quick or what happened there.
And it could be, you can't hardly tell from that angle, but maybe Kerry didn't hit him or didn't tap him because, as you mentioned, it did look like the car was starting to get a little bit loose. And Coy Gibbs getting out of that car. Maybe one of our pit guys, Rick Mast or Glenn Jarrett, can
we can put him to work, make him work hard.
We'll see how mad he is when he gets out of the car. That will tell us whether he had help or not.
Yes.
How about that? We're trying to psychologically profile him right now.
And I was looking at Scott Riggs, you know, here with just a few laps to go, will be the only repeat winner if he goes on to win this race.
We've had 4 different winners in 4 races here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Randy LaJoie now has eased his way around Bobby Hamilton Jr., so give LaJoie 5th. Hamilton Jr. the number 6 spot as he continues to slide back just a little bit, but he is comfortably ahead of the car behind him, Ashton Lewis Jr. Here's Johnny Sauter now working his way by David Stremme. He takes over the number 1 spot, and now those 2 get together. Sauter finds the wall here on the front stretch. Caution flag 11 is out for Johnny Sauter, spinning down through the grass.
Concrete is just not very forgiving. I thought that maybe he would be able to save that, but he just didn't. Saw a little fire there, probably knocked the fuel pump off the car.
The fire still going from underneath the car, and Johnny Sauter still trying to keep that machine running as well. Spins his way out of the grass. Caution flag number 11 sets up a short sprint to the checkered flag.
Sure does, and it definitely is not the fuel pump, or he would not have gotten it started back up.
And a number of cars, true to his word, Scott Riggs let the 5 go on by, let some other folks make up a lost lap or 2. Here is that situation. I mean, Johnny Sauter just gotten by David Stremme. Stremme bumps him from behind. The wreck's on.
David Green made it past both those guys. Johnny Sauter got past the 1 car. Looked like he may have gotten a little loose, and then the 1 car had the air off of him a little bit, and 21 maybe checked up a little bit. One of those deals. I don't know what that is on fire, but it's something. It's not the fuel pump.
It's not good, no matter what it is. So Johnny Sauter, looks like the fire's out. He'll head for pit road. Tried to pass the pace car. No. That's not a good thing. But a tough break. They were beaten up a little bit, but he was hanging tough in the top 5. And they have red flagged this race to make sure we end under green. And that's something that I like what NASCAR has done with that rule. They do everything they can now to get these races ended under green. And the cutoff today was lap 221.